I'm more focused on how can we use AI to understand different cohorts and pockets of our customers better so that we can either retarget them differently, or if someone lands on our site and we know who they are because they're a previous customer or they visited our site before and they looked at a certain product, how do we show them what's most relevant right away? How do we make the first thing that they see continue the conversation that they were having with us before, even if they don't know they were, even if it was a one-sided conversation, because all that does is improve conversion.
Hello, this is Mitch Tarr, CEO and founder of Zin Marketing Inc. And today we're talking with Peter Klein. He's with a company called idealliving.com, and he has some great experience and topics moving from the agency world to a supplier manufacturer directly, and building out and working with influencers and affiliates. And he's got some great advice on how to do it. And he's a man after my own heart, because he's a direct response guy. So with no further ado, here's Peter Klein. G'day, I'm pleased to have Peter Klein in the studio today, and we'll be talking to him about his entrepreneurial journey and see if we can't learn a few things on what we can do to be better at what he's already done.
Thanks, Mitch. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So let's just start out. Tell us about your business and kind of the genesis of what got you going or started in it.
Sure. So I have been in direct response marketing for the last 21 years or so. The last 4.5, I've been at a company called Ideal Living, which is health and wellness for mostly pure air and water products, helping our neighbors and people in the community to remove contaminants from what they're drinking and what they're breathing. And for me, I've always gravitated toward these health and wellness products that really help people, because as a marketer, that is just such a position of strength to be working from, where I can talk very confidently about this is the problem that it solves, and it really does, and it helps people. And I have these products in my house, or when I was selling supplements, things that I knew the studies behind them, was taking them myself. It is so different from either a service that you can't really get behind, a product that is more of a fad thing. So that's something that I've really tried to stick to, just so that when I am approaching things as a marketer, there's that confidence behind it. This really works and really can help lives, and I'm here to explain why and how it should be a part of what you do.
Yeah. So that's idealliving.com is your business?
So I'm not there's there are two owners of the business. I'm the vice president of customer growth and retention. Ideal Living is the parent company. The two main brands are Air Doctor and AquaTrue, and they yes, the mission is really to help improve people's lives through clean air, water, and just overall healthy living. So other products that fit into that mold, but are that as long as they are helping people, that's a big thing that the owners are really set on when we're looking at new products to launch. Does it fit our goals and our ideals as much as possible before we move forward in our stage gate process?
Yeah. Well, you said the magic words earlier on, direct response marketing was in your
That's
background,
me.
and that's where I live too. So then who's the primary audience, secondary audience that you're selling to?
Mhm.
How do you block and tackle your
Sure.
customers?
No, great question. And there's the known knowns, which are the segments of customers that we are purposely talking to, and we know are responsive to our message and our product. So, and then we're trying our best to figure out who don't we know yet that is also interested. So our number one channel of acquisition is through social influencers and affiliates. And what we found is a lot of common themes on non-toxic homes, and a lot of parents, a lot of mommy bloggers and influencers who want to have the best thing possible for their family and remove microplastics and toxic gases and contaminants. So those are main categories. I'd say also anyone interested in biohacking. We have a lot of influencers in that space too, and it's because these are foundational things that, I mean, really doesn't get much more foundational than breathing and drinking. And if you can, I'm trying to think if there's anything even. No, I think those are two of the main things. And so if you can do those things in a much more healthful way by removing things that you might not even know are there, there's tremendous upside. And we have testimonials for days that just warm our hearts, proving that what we're doing is having an impact on their lives.
Yeah. So, in the area of affiliate sales, affiliate marketing, and influencer marketing, that area has really morphed over the years to mean different things to different people. Talk a bit about your experience in sort of building out that channel, because that's a challenging area, I think, for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back in time a little. And when I started in this industry, I worked for different infomercial companies. I was at Guthrie Ranker for years, an infomercial giant with proactive and meaningful beauty, and if a lot of things that people have seen when scrolling late at night. And as it started to morph, I was in with a company called Golden Hippo, where their main, they have 20 brands, including Gundry MD and Activated You and Beverly Hills MD. They use video sales letters, which I was referring to at the time as the evolutionary next step of infomercials, because it was a long form story that it was telling where it would set up the problem, the solution, why this is better than everything else. The evolutionary part is because everyone started at the beginning of the sales letter versus an infomercial. You didn't know when they were coming in. It was when they were flipping channels, and you had to. That's why every infomercial had its own three acts, but the 2 minute call to action that repeated multiple times throughout because you didn't know when they were coming in versus the VSL, the video sales letter. You knew they were starting at the top each time, which allowed you to craft the story that way. Fast forward to influencers and how I'm defining that, the people on Instagram or other platforms who have their own followers, where we explain to them what we have, why it's good, and then they have unique links with discounts and get a commission on sales. It falls right into that same evolution. This is a trusted face or voice, but someone like them or someone that they identify with one way or another, that they may not identify with Cindy Crawford in the same way. Someone saying, I'm so and so, this is the water purifier that I use with my family for these reasons. And if you click the link in my bio, I have a special discount for you. It's all the same core of an authority figure for one reason or another, spending time, especially when it's a higher price point, health is involved, different studies and certifications are involved. It's not an impulse buy. It's not a 30-second, you know, kitchen gadget. Oh, I see what it does, click and buy. So this is a great channel for someone to really go through the benefits and help people understand why this is something that they should have in their lives. So it's been a great channel, and a lot of the influencers, the social influencers, talk to each other and see what each other is promoting. And so while we have a team under the SVP Helen Cristoni, who does a lot of great outreach, we also have a lot of people coming to us saying, "Hey, I want to sell this. I already have one of these in my home. I want to have unique links so that I can tell my followers about it as well."
Yep. So when you're evaluating or looking for influencers, what sort of criteria do you set?
So I'm not really on the forefront of that, but I know that the team really looks at followers. Do they have competitive products already in the mix? And do we think that they have an audience that would be receptive to this? Is someone motivated to get the word out? We have, a lot of what they'll refer to as micro influencers, people who have just, not a very high number of followers. Where, like, you know what, if they get some sales from wonderful, that's great. We're getting our products out there, and people will start using them and feeling the benefits. But it's really, yeah, we want people with an audience who listens to what they have to say. People who, if they can articulate the differences, especially since these are real science backed products, it's not for everyone to explain when we're talking about what things remove, volatile organic compounds and particulate matter that is at different levels. Not everyone wants to talk about those things, so we want to see, would this be a good ambassador for our brands also, in explaining how they work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and so
And so
over time, do the influencers have to um, attain any levels or, you know, keep any accomplishments or traffic levels or sales levels to stay in the program, or is it kind of 80/20 all the way?
pretty 80/20. I mean, some uh, can qualify for more perks. Our biggest sellers, people who are on the top of our leaderboards often, yeah, we're more willing to, if we have a new product launching, we'll send them something ahead of time so that they can prepare some content before it's live and give them, yeah, the commission can fluctuate a little too. So it's been great. And, even those that aren't selling that much, I'm sure they're also talking to their friends about it, and we we try to do what we can to, these are crowded spaces, so we try to stand out however we can. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is last January, we're based in Los Angeles, and we had the fires that were all around us, and so we had a lot of units that were in a local warehouse that we were able to get some trucks and just at our cost have people come to our office and get these at, way lower than they would normally, just because we wanted to help provide some relief to people who needed to clean out the smoke particles and breathe healthier air. And it was a few very hectic days with lines going around the block of people who wanted to get these purifiers, but it was so rewarding and something that Katie and Peter, the two founders of the company, care deeply about, and this was wonderful to be a part of it and really helping the community. And even though we didn't make money, we spent money on the trucks and people and everything, but we the word of mouth that came from that and the organic social posts of people saying thank you, air doctor, and it was wonderful, warmed our hearts, and hopefully we don't have the opportunity to do that again for a long time, but
Yeah.
we're happy to help.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was in
I was
Marina
in
Del Rey
Marina
that
Del Rey
the week prior and the week after
Mm.
when those fires went through there. It was quite incredible.
Yeah.
So, but you also mentioned Gundry, Dr. Gundry earlier on.
Yes.
I've been in his sales funnel through the process, and
Yeah.
it's those guys are pretty talented. They got it buttoned
They're
down.
amazingly talented, and I was the chief customer officer at Golden Hippo, and I was also the CEO of their contact center and fulfillment businesses that they own. And the thing that never got old for me was, I was really on the existing customer side for the most part. How do we extend the lifetime value and satisfaction of our existing customers is at every touch point. And every time we got a sale from an existing customer, what it told me was we did so many things right to get to this point. That means that whatever our marketing message was on day one, it was well crafted. It answered the questions that people had, and it got them to open their wallets and buy something, which is never an easy thing to do. And then the website worked enough to take the payment. The shipment went out on time and it got to them where they were happy enough. The product did what it said. People were seeing the results or feeling the results from the supplement or the cream that they bought. If they had any issue with customer service, it didn't deter them enough from making a second purchase, and customer service was there to answer their questions. So every second, third, fourth sale from a customer was amazing validation that we're doing a lot of things right. And it all started with those amazingly crafted video sales letters that all I did a lot of writing in my earlier career, and then I went to that company and started reading some of those scripts and thought, "Oh wow, this is the big
Yeah,
leagues." It's so well done.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
I have to. I got a
I
lot of
got a lot
respect
of
for those
respect.
guys. I know that space. Nowhere near as talented, but I've we've seen what a video sales letter can do. So
Yeah.
then, just in the normal course of things, how would I come across ideal living in, my interactions on the internet? Whereabouts are you trying to attract customers like myself?
Sure. So through if you're on Instagram and follow any of the those influencers, you'll hear them talk
Influencers,
about
yeah.
it. But also we do paid ads on other social media through Meta. So we do some retargeting for people who visited our sites. Search is huge, which is so I've been with the company for 4.5 years, and the public consciousness of our products has changed so dramatically during that time where when I started, it was still in COVID. And I remember still educating people on why they needed an air purifier, why they needed water purifiers. And now we can skip that part and get right into this is why ours is different and better. And so search the non-branded search terms are so many people are looking for solutions to these problems, and we're there, yeah, to answer their questions, and we have a lot of great content and blogs on our sites, getting more and more people through that channel, and a lot of branded search too, where now our names are getting out there. People are searching for Air Doctor deals or AquaTrue filters, water purifiers, and so it's really been great to see how that's changed and how much more top of mind the category is and our products and brands in particular are.
Yeah. So, what's the thinking at your shop these days with what impact AI is having on the SEO practices?
It's not surprising, I'm sure. Every conversation we have, every meeting, AI comes up in terms of how are we using it? How are we not leveraging it enough in certain areas? What else could we be doing? And it's, yeah, the there's good and bad when it comes to PMAX on Google, and it will tell us, yeah, it will optimize it and be presenting our ads and our content where it finds the best bang for the buck, but not tell us. Yeah, there's a big black box element to that, and so it's it's working on everything we're doing. I'm I'm more focused on how can we use AI to understand different cohorts and pockets of our customers better so that we can either retarget them differently, or if someone lands on our site and we know who they are because they're a previous customer or they visited our site before and they looked at a certain product, how do we show them what's most relevant right away? How do we make the first thing that they see continue the conversation that they were having with us before, even if they don't know they were, even if it was a one-sided conversation, because all that does is improve conversion. It's the old marketing adage is enter the conversation already happening in the customer's mind, and
Yeah.
I think about that often when someone is getting an email, a post-purchase email. What are they thinking about when they get that, or they sign up for our newsletter to get a coupon code of some kind? But what are they thinking, and how do we answer that before they ask it? So AI has been helpful with that and looking to do a lot more this year. We've just had some big strategy meetings about how do we really make the most of that and turbocharge what we're doing to then free us up for big swings that take time and mental energy that uh, we're our calendars are all booked solid every day. So what can we do to remove some of that and carve out time for some real big swings and take some risk there?
Yeah. So, what sort of process would you go through if you were to hire a new employee into your marketing department to sort of get them up to speed on your avatars
Mhm.
and your ideal audience and the the way that you guys go about doing direct response marketing?
That's a great question, and I hired someone recently who did not have much experience in direct response before this. Had a lot of marketing experience more at the agency and studio side of things, movie studios, and so the the muscles were there for how to do things. But the important things with learning our brands and how we do things, because that's what every company, even though I've been doing similar things for umbrella companies that have multiple health and wellness brands, there's always a learning curve on how do you do it here? What do you call these things? We have great trainings on both Air Doctor and AquaTrue that everyone who comes into the company gets to see, and it's set up very well. What the brands are, what they do, why they're different, why they're better. And then a lot of it is we have an internal wiki, yeah, intranet with a lot of the terms and the acronyms that they're going to hear all the time. And what I say to every new employee on my team or any other team is anytime you're in a meeting and you don't know what people are talking about, which is expected because we don't even know when we're speaking our own language, feel free to shoot me a Slack or come to me right after and say, they were talking about these three letters and I don't know what those are. And I will always help you out as soon as possible because then you'll get more out of the rest of that conversation or the next one. And we don't even know when we're doing it now. And sometimes someone who's new will say, okay, none of that made any sense. You just had two sentences and all I heard was 20 letters in there. Can you tell me what that actually meant? And I really try to empower people to raise their hand and say, can you say that again in English? And Katie Williams, one of the co CEOs, is very big on that, where as soon as we're using acronyms, she'll just say, hold on, not everyone knows what that stands for. Yeah, spell it out the first time so that everyone's on the same page. And and besides that, it's yeah, we are nimble, that we're very cross-functional and cross-departmental in how we do things. So a lot of it is throwing people kind of into the fire and saying, here's a project. These are the different departments that are going to be involved with it. And here are the point people. Let's bring them into a room and you'll learn after this one time going through the process, I should have talked to that person sooner, or um, I didn't realize that when it comes to pricing, I need the brand to approve it, make sure it doesn't conflict with this pricing here, and then for finance to give a thumbs up and legal. Yeah, and we have a lot of different check boxes and lists to go through on every time we're doing something new. And so yeah, it's always a challenge. We try to hold people's hands as much as possible early on, but we're fast paced and there's yeah, we want to get right down to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you
So
grow,
as
do
you
you
grow, do
find
you
that it's
find that
harder to keep the pace up whilst at the same
well,
time
mhm,
checking with the various in, departments?
absolutely. And going back to my Golden Hippo days, when I started there, I think I was employee maybe 35. And when I left about 6 years later, we had over 200 in our main office. And at one point, with the different sites, I had 700 people reporting up to me. So things changed a lot during that time. But when we had 35 of us, Mark, the CEO, would say, yeah, we should do that. And it wasn't, let's set a meeting 2 weeks from now to discuss it. It was an open environment. He'd he'd grab a stool, sit down next to someone, and call some people over. We'd wheel chairs over, and we would just get things done because each person had 20 things they were doing, but we all knew who was doing what and the status of all of it. As we grew and as Ideal Living grows and there are teams and multiple people on the teams who are doing different things, speed of implementation just by default is slower. And so I'm always trying to look at how do we break that down? How do we speed this up? And it's not sometimes it's just getting the right people in there or being really clear with either a RACI chart, if you're familiar with those, or something like that, where of listing out who is R for responsible, accountable, needs to be consulted or informed, and just having that at the very beginning of a project, so this person just wants to know what's going on, but they don't need to be in every meeting. And if we try to work around her calendar, it'll never happen. And just really trying to define those roles ahead of time helps a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing that helps is just prioritization and making sure that you know what the co-CEOs care most about. You know what's a dependency tech-wise. Yeah, we just migrated one of our brands to Shopify and are migrating the other big one in the next month or two. Some of it is, you know what? This is important. It makes more sense to wait for that migration so that we're not doing it twice. So what can we promote to that top urgency spot right now? And instead, and it's a bunch of negotiation and running around, but it makes the days go fast and a nice sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw what you did there. You managed to sneak an acronym into that conversation.
Oh no, did I? Oh, the racy, yes.
The racy.
Ah, man, I didn't. I wish that was intentional. That would have been a nice little Easter egg. But nope. I can't stop it sometimes.
Yeah. So, just finishing up on this theme of
Sure.
influencers and direct response and the marketing side of the business,
Hmm.
if you were to give someone some guidance or advice, what would you tell them to think about or learn about, or how they would approach those topics in a way that might help them get it faster?
Absolutely. The number one thing that I think of all the time is, you know, everywhere I've been, testing has been the lifeblood of what we do. You test, test, test again. And when something wins, that is the new control, but there should be a challenger ready to go to slot in there. And it, and try and have meaningful tests also, not ones that, yeah, might have a little bump here and there. All that still helps to optimize a funnel, a marketing funnel, or how you're doing things, but take some bigger swings in a controlled way. And it comes down to number of at bats, to use the baseball metaphor, number of tests and speed of implementation. Those two things you are in control of. How many tests can you do, and how quickly? Because you will always learn something. And so I would tell someone getting into this, create a testing structure that everyone that is visible. You get input from the different stakeholders of what matters to them in terms of testing. Be able to set it up in a way that you have clear results. You know what the main key performance indicator is, that you're almost a KPI there, that you're trying to that you're measuring, and when to call it. When there's enough significance to call it, and then how you are sharing those results and prioritizing which ones are next. This is something that at Guthrie Ranker, they all the time there was a test and launch schedule where it was, this one is it ready to call? Great. All right, we'll do this one. And every week it was a fast meeting of this one, no, not enough data. So we'll revisit it next week. And Golden Hippo took it to the extreme where, again, it's wheeling the chairs over. You get a coder, you get the brand person, you get a copywriter, and say, people are dropping off on the video here. Let's let's change this and move this part sooner. And if you spend $200 on an ad and it's not bringing back 500, pull it down, form some hypotheses, create new versions of it quickly, and get it back up there and repeat. And when something wins, have the next version ready. Never assume that it can't still be optimized.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of testing as well. That's probably those iterations, endless iterations, are probably one of the most valuable marketing things tactics I know. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time today. It's been an interesting conversation. We got some good tips and advice, and so thank you very much for helping us.
Thanks, Mitch. This was a lot of fun.
I hope you enjoyed that and found some information in there that is actionable and helps you to grow your business. As you may or may not know, it's in marketing. We've been doing email marketing for companies for 18 years now. And we know a thing or two because we've learned a thing or two. But I want to make you an offer. The first thing we do when we take on a new e-commerce client is to build out their welcome series. It's not flashy, but it is consistently one of the largest revenue generators of all the flows that we install. And most brands don't have a good one. So if you feel like you might not have a good one, I want to give you a head start. Send me your site. Just send me an email to mitch@zinmarketing.com. And I'm about a custom welcome series flow for your brand. The flow, the angles, all the copy that you use. Basically enough material to basically make it live. Free money, if you will. Just done for you. No strings attached. I'll send everything back via email. Send an email to mitch@zinmarketing.com. Free welcome flow.